I'm very excited to have my next guest join us. She's a very talented singer and songwriter who is in our presence in San Francisco, Ari Abdul.
I'm beyond honored to be here.
I am so stoked that you are here. Thank you so much.
Oh no, thank you. I feel that I've been watching you for some
Oh
time.
my God.
That sounded a little creepy, but no, I've seen other. I'm always on YouTube watching interviews. That's my go-to for anytime I'm just eating anything. I always need something on the background, just on the TV. And It's always like just interviews, and I love watching all of them.
That's amazing. Well, thank you. Hopefully, I won't embarrass myself with you, as I normally do.
That's me. I think we're already connecting because that's what I usually do. I mean, I've already had a really embarrassing moment that I told you about earlier off camera that happened to me yesterday in the very second show.
Would you like to share with the class?
I absolutely would, and I feel bad, but I went out on stage yesterday. We were playing LA, our very second show. For context, San Diego was the first show, LA was the second show. And I went out there with so much confidence, ran up to the microphone in LA and just my whole chest. What's up, San Diego? and like I had my in-ears in, so I couldn't really hear anything, but someone in the background was just like so angry about it, and now I know why. But I went on Instagram afterwards. I was like, guys, I'm so sorry about that. I meant to say LA. Because
you didn't really do any of this up until, what, 18, 19, 20 years old, something like that, right?
Yeah, no, I could tell you the whole story. It's one of my favorite stories ever.
Let's get into that, because I feel like that you were basically one of those people that got exposure through social media and all that stuff, right? And then all of a sudden, everybody knows who Ari Abdul is. It's
one of the craziest, it's completely the butterfly effect, where it's, one small thing. If that thing didn't happen, I wouldn't be here. And it was the most random thing. It was not music related at all, but I graduated high school in 2019, and I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life, so I'm gonna go and study business marketing. Very first day of school, literally first day of college ever, I somehow lost my ID, and I don't usually lose things ever, but it just like disappeared out of my pocket, and I think that was like a message from the universe. Because the exact time and the same day I went to go get a new one, the person standing right behind me was Thomas, and he lost his on the very first day because he lost his wallet.
And this is Thomas LaRosa.
This is Thomas LaRosa, who lost
brother of Isabel LaRosa.
Yes. And if they can hear the music right now, they are currently sound checking. We are both on tour right now. But yeah, I met Thomas, and I could replay this memory in my head a million times, but I'm standing online, and there's this blonde kid behind me. He's like wearing skinny jeans, and he's buff, and like he kind of looks like a jock. And he turns to me and he like looks down. I'm wearing like Doc Martens and like ripped black jeans and all black. And he goes, I like your style. What kind of music do you like? And I'm like, who's this kid? And I'm like, oh, you wouldn't know it. It's like the 1975, which is so well known. So I don't know why I thought it was
You picked the most mainstream band.
I thought I was like so cool and underground. I was like, you wouldn't know it. You're a boy. And he goes, no, I love the 1975. And as soon as that happened, we were like inseparable. We would always like talk about music and our love for like going to live shows and different artists, and our like the artists we would gatekeep, and like we would like share them and send playlists back and forth. And then eventually, I mean, this is late 2019. Of course, 2020, the pandemic happened, and everyone was so isolated. But eventually, when things started opening, I was like, hey, Thomas, do you want to hang out? And he was like, hey, I'm working out of a studio in Brooklyn, but you could come and hang out. And I was like, don't worry, I won't bother you. I'll just like sit on the couch or something. And that's what I did for so long, until one day he's like, why don't you make a song? And it was actually Thomas LaRosa's mother, who was like, why, get Ari to make a song. She's like posting TikToks, just have her do something. And I was like, that's the craziest thought. One, I never sang before. I'm not a good singer. And it's like, why would I do that? That's not me at all. So eventually he convinced me, and the song we ended up making was Baby Doll.
The one that went crazy on TikTok.
It was Baby Doll. And I just want to backtrack for a second. Like during all this time, I also met Isabel, who at the time was 14 or 15 years old. And they were also making music at the same time. But yeah, months later, we ended up posting Baby Doll on TikTok. And the coolest thing for us is that both Baby Doll and Haunted started going viral around the same time. So it's honestly just so cool to have, you know, just experience that together and just kind of be on this journey and also grow up together. Because I met Thomas when I was 17, and Isabel was like 14 or 15, and now, you know, we're here. It's what, 4 years later, 4 or 5 years later, and I'm 22. I'm turning 23 later in the year, and Isabel's 19. So it's kind of like, it's insane, you know. I was still a teenager, and she was like freshly teenagehood. Now she's at the end of her teen years.
Right.
So it's so crazy to look back at that.
And up until that point, you said you never sung a lick, and you didn't perform. You didn't do talent shows or anything like that.
No, not at all. This is kind of a trauma dump, but you know, I love kind of embarrassing. It's not embarrassing at all. But if you couldn't tell by now, I have a deeper voice for a girl, right? And as a kid, somehow my voice used to be deeper. Right, so I was so insecure about the way that I sounded. So there was never in a million years I was gonna get up there and sing or just do any of that. That was not for me. I didn't even like talking in general because I was like, I don't really like, you know, especially when you're a kid growing up, you like compare yourselves to other kids. Right. And all the girls in the class, they had like their cute high pitched voices, and me, I've always been like, so I was like, oh, it was like not ever in something I could imagine me doing.
Being cinematic and thinking about how the visuals play into the music, and you know, I think the terminology is synesthesia.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Being able to see the color of songs, right?
Yes.
So, when you release a song like "Don't Effing Hit My Phone Up," what are you seeing there?
That song has always been just like black and white, and there's really any black and white and just flashing colors. I've always like, I don't know if it's because like Y2K is a big thing, but I always imagine just like slamming like the flip phones because it's so much more dramatic. But yeah, it's a much more like, I don't know if there's a word, but swaggy kind of song. When we were filming visuals for it, I was like, all right guys, listen up. I need to keep it really, like, I wanted New York, and just like, you know, New York is such a hip hop focused, I feel like, city, or just the like culture in New York is, I wanted to incorporate that somehow into that song, because also that song is more hip hop leaning than all my other songs. It's not exactly hip hop. I don't ever really aim for a genre, but you know, we're always choosing elements. We want it to be dark, definitely, but definitely have more rhythmic hip hop feel to it. So I was like, all right, visually, I need to be dressed in, you know, my Timberlands and I had my big pants on. I had a jersey on, and we put the hair, like I had braids done, because we're trying to do something more with my hair recently, because it's always just like kind of my natural wolf cut. But yeah, it came to, I feel like.
Did you just call it a wolf cut?
Yeah, it's a wolf cut.
Is that what it's officially called, or are you calling that?
My hair might be crazy. Okay, here's the funny thing. I have a whole, I don't know if we want to go on this tangent. My hair definitely looks crazy on camera right now.
It looks amazing. That's why I'm asking. I never heard of a wolf cut before.
It's really funny because originally I never really did anything or had a specific cut. It was just like long and just flowing. And I'd post videos on TikTok, and one of them went viral, and I think the top comment was, please, what is this hairstyle? And I didn't respond because I didn't really have a hairstyle. And the top comment was, oh, it's a wolf cut. So then I remember like going to my hairstylist and being like, you know, just to trim. And I was like, hey, this is a wolf cut, right? And she was like, a what? She was like, Ari, you just have a bunch of layers. But, you know, now every time I go there, we joke about it, because she kind of is like, what is a wolf cut? But I feel like, you know, social media is always inventing new vocabulary.
Yes. So
I've seen wolf cut, butterfly cut. There's like another word cut for it, but essentially it's just a bunch of layers. But I think wolf cut sounds a little edgy. So
it looks great on you. It's very 70s inspired, in my opinion.
Oh no, absolutely.
So I mean, that's the vibe I get. So it's interesting that you reference how hip hop and urban streetwear and urban culture is an influence on you. That's very New York. But Biba Doobie, Clairo.
I know, it's a crazy,
not.
Isn't it?
What were you raised on, and what is kind of shaped your musical taste?
Yeah, absolutely, like mostly everything, because both my parents were they immigrated to New York. So my mom like originally was raised on a lot of, you know, classic Spanish music. She came from Ecuador, a lot of cumbia, but coming to the States, she would listen to a lot of just mainstream radio stuff, whatever's like on, you know, hit radio stations. So I was raised on, you know, whatever was big at the time. And then my dad was coming in with, you know, 80s freestyle music, with all of the like classic NYC rap, also like Biggie, Tupac, all the classics, Ice Cube. And then it was also like coming in with rock music, and also he loves Coldplay, like so many different things. And then my oldest brother loves like rap and like low-key rap, and I remember he would show me like ASAP, and I remember like falling in love with ASAP because the fashion was just so cool, and he was also from New York. And then I have two brothers. My other brother was always playing Guitar Hero, and I would just like always play whatever he was playing. So it was like, you know, Metallica and Foo Fighters and Korn and Deftones, Green Day. And one of my brothers definitely got me into more emo music and heavier stuff, and I fell in love with Pierce the Veil, Panic at the Disco. Like during middle school, I went through this huge emo phase. We don't talk, I had a big swoop. But
I can see that.
Yeah, I went through this really big emo phase.
Well, you're taking this and running at full speed, and I am so stoked for you.
Well, thank you so much.
Really quick, what do your parents think about all of this? Because you were not singing in front of them growing up. They're like, who is this girl?
It was so random. So I would say we're kind of, I don't mean this in any bad way, but we kind of bully each other over things, but in a loving way. Our love language is kind of like, you know, we'll be like, haha, like, what are you doing? So I remember being a kid and like, you know, I've had a guitar as a kid. I didn't necessarily sing, but I'd play it and like, you know, be like, why are you playing guitar? You can't sing, nerd. Like in a loving way, like as a joke. You know, I grew up in like a very like boy household, dad and like the brothers running around. My mom's like trying to control them. But when I remember, oh, this is actually funny. I remember at the time I would come home at like 3 a.m. and they'd be like, where were you all night? And they'll be very angry. And I was like, I was in the studio. I was recording the song with Thomas. But the song wouldn't be ready. So it would be like weeks of me coming home really late and being like, I was in the studio. And they're like, what are you doing with this boy all night long? And like, I'm making a song. It's like, Ari, you don't sing. Like there's no way she's telling the truth. But eventually I like, you know, I showed them the song and they were like emotional. They're like, no way. And they're so supportive. And I'm really, like, obviously I'm looking forward to all these shows, but it's gonna be really special playing in New York because I am headlining that show and my family gets to be there. And my mom's always texting me and she's like, my mom's like one of my biggest fans, but I'm such a mama's girl. Like I'm always like, anytime I'm nervous, I'll just call my mom, like, Mom, I'm like, you stay on the phone with me. But she's always texting me and she's like, Ari, what are you wearing on stage? Please don't rewear the same things. I'm always rewearing the same thing. She's such a mom, and she, you know, I love her so much. But she's like, make sure you look good. Make sure your hair looks good. Like sometimes I get a little dissociated on stage. I'll be like putting up middle fingers, and she's like, don't do that. Make sure you have blush on. You look like you're green. But yeah, I really love my family.
You look like you're green.
That's my mom's go-to. This is like before, like my whole life, my mom just looked at me like, she's like, you're green right now. Because I wake up and I kind of look like I'm a zombie, but I'm currently not wearing blush, Mom. I'm very sorry, but I will put it on for this show, just for my mom.
I am so happy for you.
Well, thank you so much.
And I can't wait to see you perform for the very first time for me in a few minutes here.
I'm so excited to perform for you. I'm going to give it my all, truly.
Best of luck with everything, and thanks again.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
It's Ari Abdul, right here on B-Sides.